Who remembers the videos I've been making, pleading with people? If you have a car that starts, just drive it. Drive that clunker. Just drive it. Don't get into car payments unless you have 20% or half of the value of the car. Who remembers me saying that? This is why I was saying that.
Pandemic, the highest sales, the highest monthly payment rates ever recorded as inventory stayed low. But as we all well know, around here, the business can change on a dime. Local 4 business editor Rob Maloney has a look at how Stellantis is now forced to cope with having too much inventory.
Over the last few years for the auto companies, they've been able to get away with high transaction prices, big profits, and very few incentives. But while nobody was looking, the market changed on everybody. And now Stellantis is sitting on a bloated inventory that they could easily sell a year ago. It's not difficult to find a lot of Stellantis vehicles baking in the sun. This is the Sterling Heights assembly plant where they have dozens upon dozens of highly priced pickups sitting unshipped and unsold. Dealerships have big inventories too. Good if you have a particular vehicle with specific goodies you want. But if you can't afford any of those choices, not so good for the company, says Ivan Drury from Edmunds Automotive.
Is the interest rates kicked in and it's like, look, now these vehicle payments they're not touchable. You might even get denied for the loan, or you think, I cannot pay over $1,000 a month when I'm just trying to go from point A to point B.
He says the time a Stellantis vehicle sits on a lot is about 100 days, when the industry average is about 50. And the sweet spot price is at about $30,000, Stellantis having one vehicle below that.
Because I knew eventually we would get to a point where dealerships could not sell cars. You see, I got to go back to 2021, 2022, 2023. Over 2021, 2022, the news and social media and all the YouTubers were saying there's a shortage of chips, there's a shortage of cars. I never rode past a dealership and there were no cars, okay? Carvana had cars, Vroom had cars. The problem was they were marked up so much, and I was telling people, don't purchase these cars. Now, I was saying if you don't have half or 20% or 30%, don't buy these cars, because a lot of people lock themselves into 72-month finances, 84 months, 96. A lot of people are only 2 years into their contracts of these cars. A lot of people bought expensive cars. I know a family right now that has a Durango RT and they have a Hellcat, and they owe over $100 and something thousand on these cars. A lot of people, when they buy these cars, they bought them at crazy markups. And now they either modded them to hell, they got into accidents with them, they got high mileage, they don't run anymore. And then when you go to the dealership is only going to give you what the car is worth. And if you got mods and if you have accidents, it's only going to bring down the value. You still owe the bank that money. So say you bought a Hellcat for $80,000. I seen them going for $85 at one point. I seen Trackhawks going for $110. Say you bought this car for $110 and you got 60 to 70,000 miles on it. You still owe 80 grand and the dealership is only willing to give you 50. You got to come up with that other $30,000. The dealership is not going to eat that. The bank still wants their money. And then what happens is they'll roll the dealership. They're willing to roll that 30 grand into the next vehicle, no matter what it is. It could be a 5-year-old Corolla. You'll be paying $1,200 a month for a Corolla. That's what these dealerships do. It frustrates me because I know a lot of people are stuck in these car payments, and it's really getting to me because I know a lot of people are barely getting by. They got credit card debt, they got student loan debt, they got car payment debt because, this is why I say the news and social media pumps a propaganda. It really does. It makes you believe that there's no cars left. A lot of you who've been following me from the very beginning, you knew I had a Hyundai and a Corvette, right? I bought the Corvette from Carvana. I bought the Hyundai from a dealership. Traded in, got rid of the Hyundai and got a pickup truck. Got rid of the Corvette and got a Shelby. Got rid of the Shelby and I got a BMW recently. There was never a time where I called, I went on Carvana and they had no inventory, or I rode past a Ford dealership or Toyota dealership or Chevy dealership and they had no cars. The problem was these scumbags, these dealerships were pricing these cars so high. Even when you go to a dealership now, they're cocky. Do you remember when you used to go to a dealership and they would run up to you? How can I help you? They would give you 10% under sticker. They don't even get out of their seats anymore. They're cocky. They're used to dealing with people that just want cars that will sell themselves. Years ago, before the pandemic, you were able to go to a car dealership. You were able to get a good deal. Now it's like they're doing you a favor. It's going to get worse. I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to get worse. If you have a car and you're underwater in the car, this is just me right now. I would think about maybe trading down. I would trade down before the shit really hits the fan. I would trade down. If you got that BMW M5, there's nothing wrong with trading down to a Toyota Camry. If you got a Trackhawk, there's nothing wrong with going to a used Honda Odyssey. Don't worry about what people are thinking about you. Don't worry about what people are going to say about you. You're trying to do better for your family and you're trying to do better for your life. It's going to get bad. What happens when there's an overstock of product? They got to lower prices of product, right? What's going to happen is cars will eventually come back down. You're not going to be able to refinance the same way people thought they could refinance their houses during the housing crisis. And look how that turned out. So if you have an expensive car that you owe a lot on, in my opinion, if that was me, I would be trying to get out of it right now, because you don't want to get stuck with a car where you owe 80 grand on it and they're only willing to give you 30 or 40. It's going to be almost impossible to get from underneath this. You're going to have to either take out a personal loan eventually, or you're going to have to figure something out, make more money, hit the lottery, do something, and then you're going to get desperate and you're going to take chances, and that's when bad things happen. That's when bad things happen. So hope this video helps. I've always been trying to point people in the right direction. I may do it the wrong way. I may be brash at it. I may not be smooth with it. I may be rough around the edges, but I'm trying to get people to a better place because I'm tired of propaganda, media, politicians, the government. I'm tired of all this crap, these banks just taking advantage of people. It's starting to become too much and something needs to be done. And if they're not going to fix the problem, I'm going to do what I can to help you guys out there. No regrets. Get it.